Hey guys, I am back. So today I have kind of a lot in my mind. I wanted to talk about sexuality and molestation and all of that. I was watching videos along this topic and I really wanted to make a video talking like this or talking about this, but I wanted to talk more in depth about it. So, well, as most of you know, if you've been watching me for a while, that I was molested by my dad for about 5 years. I was 12 when it started and pretty much 17 when it ended, pretty much. So, pretty much about 5 years of that. Now, it was pretty often, I will say that, very often. It wasn't one of those sporadic things. I mean, sometimes it'll be sporadic, but by sporadic, I mean, it'll happen for a week, and then it'll stop for like 2-3 days, and it'll happen again. He was, of course, the one who started all that. Well, I'm not going to say started. I talked to my husband about this before, and my family. I've talked to my parents about this before, but technically I don't think my dad was the only one that molested me. I really don't think that. I have vague memories of being a little girl and being molested by another family member. Very much older family member. I have memories of possibly being molested by an older family member because, like I said, I don't fully remember details, but I remember this particular family member. I did not like her. I didn't like being around her, but occasionally, my parents would trust her to watch me. I wasn't always out of my parents' reach. My parents didn't just trust anybody. So they dropped me off at this particular family member's house. Sometimes it was with another one of my cousins. So she was around my age too, or like a year younger or whatever, but me and her would be there all the time. We would be playing and whatnot. We were pretty much friends back then. And I remember I did not like this family member. I didn't feel comfortable being around her. I remember that as a child. Now, of course, as a child, there are probably a lot of adults that you don't really favor because, I just don't like you because I'm always in trouble by you. I'm always touching things and I'm getting in trouble because your house is just so tempting to touch. And, it wasn't like that. I wasn't a bad child. I didn't run around doing shit that I wasn't supposed to be doing. So, I don't think it was that. I wasn't a troublesome child, but like I said, I have vague memories of just not liking being around her. She was just kind of creepy and standoffish. And I remember not wanting to be around her, but I never told anyone, of course. I was really young, probably like 4 or 5, whatever age I was. I remember I didn't like being around her, but this particular family member, she's very, very touchy. Very, very touchy. Very much into touching females. She's always been that way since she was younger. She's been like that, I think, her whole life. And I think the whole family knows it, but no one says anything. But, like I said, I think I might have been molested by her. And I just don't remember those events because I was really young. I think. I just remember, I just didn't like her. She was just too touchy. And based on how touchy she is, it's very much possible that she could have actually molested me. It's very, very possible. Now, I'm not just saying shit to get attention. This is not good attention. I'm literally being for real. You know how you have things happen to you as a child, but you don't fully remember it. You don't have all the details. You just know that it could have possibly happened. You don't have all the details. You don't remember the details. Your mind just can't go there. Your mind does not go there because you were so young. Or your mind just might trick you into forgetting about that incident. You don't remember exactly what happened, but you know something was there. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. I've been known something about her was just off. Also, I have more proof that she might have actually molested me because she actually molested another family member of mine. And I remember this because I was old enough at this time when this person told me this I was old enough to register, oh wow, okay, so she did mess you up. She messed you up as well as she possibly messed me up. So I was like, ooh, okay. Well, that gave me more insight into the fact that she might have molested me also, because for some reason my family has a history of sexual abuse. They just do. And like I said, this person who I believe molested me as a young child also molested another family member as a young child. And she came and told me this, and I believe it. I actually believe it. So I don't feel totally crazy when contemplating the fact that this family member might have actually touched me. I don't feel crazy. Now I know some people or family, whoever, might be like, okay, why are you talking about this? Because I want to talk about it. I want to help people get their feelings out and try to figure this shit out, because like I said, as a child you forget things, and if you have those memories that you can't quite bring up, you need to talk to someone. You need to talk to someone who knows that person. You need to talk to someone who could possibly help you, a therapist or something. You need to figure out what it is. Because once you figure it out, your life starts becoming more clear. Your life starts making more sense once you start opening your mind and realizing what really happened to you, and realize that it's not your fault and it's not fair, but you need to talk to someone and get help because you're fucked up. So I talk about these things to possibly help someone. And sometimes I think that because this person might have actually molested me, sometimes I feel that that's why I'm bisexual in the first place. Sometimes I feel that, you know, I feel that I might be bisexual because this person, this woman, possibly molested me, and for some reason I want to be touched like that again. Because like I said, my dad, I know for sure my dad was not the first one to molest me. He was not the only one to molest me. I've had cousins who molested me a little bit, you know what I mean? Younger cousins that were younger than me molest me on different occasions. They were young, they didn't know what they were doing. Possibly they've been molested and they've never even talked about it. Some of them, it's crazy. We have a serious history of sexual abuse, and it's not funny, it's not something to laugh at. This is some deep shit. People need to wake up, start owning up to things, talking about these things. Like I said, I mean, of course I know I'm bisexual because of the fact I don't have a good, healthy female figure around me, and I haven't for a long time, if ever. But I know that's a large part of it. However, I was touched by females before. I do know that. Whether or not it's the family member that I'm talking about, which I believe it was, but whether or not it was her, like I said, there was also someone else in the family who touched me. But at that time, I was old enough to kind of know something was really, really wrong with her and whoever else claimed had been molested. Whoever else had ended up touching me. Like I said, I've had several people touch me, and I'm just now starting to come to grips with that. Like, my dad was not the only one who messed me up. He wasn't. Now, yeah, he's the main one because he lived with me and it was continual, but he was not the only one who messed me up. Because I sometimes still wonder, like, okay, I'm bisexual, I'm craving to be with a woman for a reason. And like I said, I thought that it was just the fact that I don't have females around me, I don't have female companionship, I don't have any of that. I don't think it's just that. I've always been hypersexual. I've always been a very sexual kid, but I don't know. I mean, I wrote more in depth about some things in my blog. If you guys look in my description box, I have a blog where I talked about how I came up with my erotic stories and where all that came from. I was always a very sexual child, but there could possibly be a reason for why I was a very sexual child. Like I said, this family member might have actually touched me because I was always afraid of her for some reason. I just didn't tell anyone. And like I said, I was a good child. I didn't want to didn't like starting things. I didn't like people fighting. I didn't like even trying to bring up anything like that. I mean, of course, I was young. So, like I said, I'm not completely sure if I'm bisexual because I've been touched by female family members. I'm not completely sure about that. But if that is the case, it explains a lot. It will go along with everything that I've been feeling, and just, it'll make sense, you know? It's important to know these things. It's important to know exactly what happened to you as much as possible. Because like I said, once you figure it out, your life starts making a whole lot more sense, and you can kind of go from there. And you can possibly help others. Because this is a huge, huge epidemic. So, that's all I wanted to talk about today, guys. Leave your questions and comments in the description box. Subscribe for more, because there will always be more videos like this. I will talk a lot about this topic because I am not afraid of talking about this topic. You know, it's important and it needs to be talked about. So, thank you for watching, and peace out.